Hi ladies and gentlemen. Today I'm going to show you how to cut and put together that kaleidoscope block that we were working on, that some of you, well, truly I had a little bit of a problem with it in the beginning, so if we work through it together, I think we can do this. These are the general instructions, and then I gave you your cutting directions as well. So we're going to start from the very beginning, and I'm going to cut, and then we're going to go from there and you can sew. So let's zoom in over here on the fabric. I'm cutting on the 3-inch line, if you can see that. Okay, because this is for the kaleidoscope. The other ones are pretty straightforward. So we're just going to cut that at 3 inches. This is my actual dark fabric. I'm going to lay it out, and because I don't have the small kaleidoscope, I put washi tape on my ruler at the 3-inch mark. So this up here is my 3-inch mark. So then I'm just going to lay it down on that 3-inch mark. Should be flat at the top because mine is a blunt, and it should align on that washi tape on the bottom. And then just like any other triangle ruler, we're just going to cut around, and there we have it. Okay, easy. Once that I'm all cut out, we have little wedges like this, and we have triangles like this that used to be squares, 2.5-inch squares. So we have those. So let's just play and see what we can come up with here. One, and put those in the corner. 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll put those in the corners. So there's those 4, and for the fun of it, we'll put the whites there. And how about the blues in the other 2 spots? That'll make for a cute little kaleidoscope. 1, sticking together. 2. Okay, so now you see how this is laid out. Okay, if we look back at this, we've got ours laid out the same. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, just like they're listed here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to sew the 4 corner pieces on to our blacks. And I'm actually going to pick up everything and take it all to the sewing machine with me, so we don't have to come back to the cutting table. Okay, because I'm, a perfectionist, I folded that in half and found my center and did the same with my triangles. Then I nested right in there and sewed. Hello. Doing that 4 times. Take your time with this. It's easy, but you really want your corners to be perfect. So just number 2. I did these black and white so you can actually see what I'm doing. 3. We're going to move from the sewing machine when this one's through to the ironing board, and then I'm going to show you how we go from there. 4, get my leader. It's stuck. to the ironing board. And press it toward that triangle. At least that's the way I did it. It's a bit skewed there. Okay. Now, a really helpful part for me was I followed, when I cut those things off, I followed the black line or the front triangle line, so I kept that angle correct when I trimmed those off, because these need to be gone for the next step. And 4. Now we're going to go back to the sewing machine, lay them out like we had them. Oh, you can't see that. Our 4 corners. 1, 2, 3, 4. Whites and blues. So we are going to take number 1 and sew it to number 2. We're going to take number 4 to 3, 6 to 5, and 7 to 8. So I'm just going to take these and I'm going to sew down this side of everything. Here we go. Sewing 1 to 2. I don't know if you can see, but my corner meets here and it just lays perfectly on top of the other one. 1 to 2. On the corner again, this is white, so you can see there. 3 to 4. 5 to 6. And 7 to 8. Now the directions also tell you that you can press open or you can press to one side or the other. I chose to press to one side. And I was always consistent. Oh, that's not cutting off like I wanted it to. There we go. So now let's go back to the ironing board. It was easier for me to lay them out again. We have 1 to 2, 3 to 4. You can see the square coming up. 5 to 6, and 7 to 8. Okay, so I'm going to choose to press toward the dark all the way around. Actually, I'm not. Scratch that. I am always going to press away from the triangles, so I'm going to press that way. Okay, so down and press it back. That is going to reduce some of that bulk in there. Then I'm going to lay it right back out where it's at and show you how we're going to sew these together. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. I know it gets kind of tricky sometimes, and you have to think it through in your head. There we go. So now we have half and half. So I'm going to sew this half together now and this half together. I'm going to sew right down here. Keeping it at a 1/4 inch seam, just like we did before. to that ironing board. I know it's iron intensive, but you will love the end result. Okay, remember I'm always pressing away from my triangle, so we're going to press that way again. And this way again. Now, we just have half and half. Actually, I'll turn it right side up, so we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, can you see we have our 1/4 inch seam allowance right here? So we're just going to flip 1, 2, 3, and 4 on 5, 6, 7, and 8. And we're going to nest our seams in there because this one's going this way and this one's going this way. Should have gone that way. I pressed that one wrong. I'm sorry for that. I'm going to repress that so those will nest. Actually, I did press it the right way. This one just didn't go the way I wanted. There we go. Nest those seams. And now we're just going to sew all the way down that one center line. And warning, it's probably not going to line up perfectly because I just whipped it together. Trying to go through your X there will make it better. And straight out to the edge. Back to the ironing board one last time. Not bad. And then I actually pressed this seam open. I found it had less bulk in the center when I pressed it open. Our final step is to go back to that cutting table and trim off our edges. We need this to be a 5.5 inch square. And typically your triangles are going to be your 5.5. So you're going to need to just trim off. Oops. Trim off here and there, and here and there, and it should be just fine for you. Trust me, you may not like trimming up, but for this application, you really need to trim them to your 5.5 inches. It is very important. And there we have it. There's our block. Thanks, ladies.